Hey, this is Doug Upstone for Vegas Pro Insiders Daily, and today is September 29th, Friday, and we got a big weekend of college football ahead. Can't wait to get going on it, and boy, did we have the line moves that have occurred the last couple days. Holy cow. I mean, there's so many of them, and I could do so much that I could do a whole hour on it, for a video. And even though I could, who wants to look at me and listen to me for an hour? Okay, I don't even want to do that. So that being the case, hey, we got it cut down as best we could. Tried to pick some of the best new games, and plus the ones that we discussed on Tuesday. Got a lot of changes on those too. So got a lot of different areas of things that we're addressing, that we're going after. So we're going to cover all of that. Hey, and speaking of covering things, consider becoming a VPID Inner Circle member. Now, what you're going to get with that, you're going to get their top picks. Myself, Sean Higgs, Kyle Hunter, Jim Mack, Dennis Macklin, all of them. You're going to get all those guys' best bets for football. And of course, when baseball comes along and everything else that goes along with that. So you'll get that. Plus, you're going to get power ratings from me. You're going to get Wise Guy plays. You're going to get in-season systems and super systems. And the in-season systems are always valuable because they only pertain to this year. So that's the beauty of them, is that each year trends develop in any sport. And so those are the ones that I have set up and I follow to help make you a bigger winner. Okay, so that's what the whole idea is here, is to do that, is to get you to win. And so not just with picks, but a variety of things. All right, so $99 a month, that's all it's going to cost you. VegasProInsidersDaily.com. Go to the website and take care of it there, and I'll be happy to get you set up. So, hey, let's get to some free picks. And like I said, we have a ton of them today. I mean, all over the place. I was going to add them up before I started this video. I forgot. Okay, so we're just going to get started on them. Now, as per usual, we're going to start with some of the newer games. We'll do that, and then we'll go to the ones we talked about and cover all those. So we'll start off with South Florida and East Carolina. Now, the South Florida started out at minus 24, and that has gone to minus 21. And what's happened is East Carolina finally got their first win of the season against Connecticut last Sunday. And looks like they have a pretty good passing attack that they're putting together. So I think that's the reason for the drop, is that the potential, especially on the back door, South Florida, are they really going to bring their best effort? Boy, that's questionable if that's the case. So I think this is a potential situation where the Pirates can, walk the plank and, go off on a shorter point spread. Now, the total on this one has also gone way up from 69 all the way to 75. And the reason for that? Simple. East Carolina has the second worst defense in terms of giving up points in college football. So they're really easy to score on. Myself, I like East Carolina here. Get 3 touchdowns at home, say with their passing attack. So yeah, I'll take the Pirates on that one. But I don't like the big score on that. I don't think we're going to see the South Florida's best effort here. So I think that play is going to be on the under. Okay, on that one. Now next up we have Indiana at Penn State. Now, total on this one jumped up quite a bit, 4 points, to up to 62.5 on this one. Now, I'm on board with this because Penn State, we know how explosive their offense is, right? I mean, Iowa did a great job last week, but Penn State still went up and down the field. So I think at home, they can certainly, the points will certainly be there. And Indiana, we saw them against Ohio State. They moved the ball well. They beat Virginia, who just clobbered Boise State at Boise State. So with that being the case, I think there'll be some points here. And know this, that when Indiana scores 37 or more points in their next game, they're 7-0 over. I have no problem taking that one. We're going to now go to the Big 12, Oklahoma State against Texas Tech. That's going to be on Fox on Saturday night. Now, the total on this one opened at 80, shot up all the way to 84. That seems like a lot of points, right? Well, in last year's game, it was 87.5 was the closing total, and Oklahoma State won 45-44. So that went over the total on that one. You know what? I'm not crazy about these kind of off-the-wall spreads, or totals, I should say, kind of like a Golden State games last year, just ridiculous. Not one, 240. some of these, I just don't know what to think of these. I don't really like the game, but look at this. These teams have played 5 straight overs. So at 84, why can't they do it again? I think that the play is to lean with them. Okay. So for Scotty, hey, I know you're watching. Hey, I'm rolling my eyes for you, okay? So we got that going. So we're good there. All right, so let's recap now and go back and look at some of the games that we had talked about before. And we're going to start with the Friday night game, which is Miami against Duke tonight. And there's a number of good games tonight, but this one, made our list in terms of what the line moves. Now, Miami went up to -6.5. They've come back slightly to I said -6.5. Come back to -6 on this one. But the bigger news is the total has dipped from 58 to 55. Now, I like the Hurricanes to begin with. Just their athleticism. I think now getting back into the flow of playing football on a weekly basis, I think they're the better team. I think a little bit more team speed than what Duke does. And Duke's good. I mean, they're 4-0. They got a nice club. The sinking total, I agree with on that too. That seems to be going down. So let's have some leans here with the Miami Hurricanes and the under. Now we're going to go to a game that we talked about that was not a popular choice, but yet has had an incredible amount of line movement, which is Charlotte against Florida International. Now that thing started at 10 in terms with Florida International being the favorite, went all the way to 13, but now in the last couple of days it's shot right back down to 10. The total on this one has also gone up 3 points to 49. I think the value here is definitely with Florida International because Charlotte can't score. And so with the total going up, that means to me, at least in principle, that somebody is preferring that the Panthers of Florida International with Butch Davis as their coach. So I think that's going to be the place. I have no problem taking the 10 on that one. I'm not sure about the points. Charlotte can't score. I'm going to lean with the under there. So Florida International and under are the two plays. Bowling Green and Akron out of the MAC. Bowling Green was flipped from a favorite to an underdog, went all the way up to -3 on Akron. It's come back to 2.5 on Wednesday, and that's exactly where it stayed. You know what? Bowling Green, I think, has a shot here. I'm not Akron. I mean, they're not as good as Akron in theory, but they're going to win some games this year. And I think this is a perfect spot at home, catching points. I'll give the nod there to the Falcons of Bowling Green. Okay, next, Big 12 we're going to head to Baylor, Kansas State. Kansas State shot up from -14 all the way up to -17. And I had commented on Tuesday in the video. I said, I wondered a little bit about if Baylor had gotten enough respect based on how they had played against Oklahoma. And that being the case, it finally came. Now we have the line is down to 15.5, so I think that came the way. And the total, though, it decreased significantly from 59 down to 55. And with that being the case, that would seem to favor Kansas State because lower scoring game, better defense, and Baylor having to go on the road in this case. I like Kansas State at 15.5, and but I think there's going to be more points scored than what it's being given credit for. So I actually like the over. So let's look at Kansas State and over, okay, in that particular game. Navy and Tulsa, ACC action. Navy jumped from 3.5 all the way to 6, and it hasn't stopped yet. They're, depending on the book, either -8 or -8.5 at Tulsa. I don't like going over the key number of 7 here. Tulsa had a really bad game. This is a team that has a dynamic offense. We're scoring 47 points a game. They scored 13 against New Mexico at home. I think they're going to come to play. I understand the logic of that Navy can hold the ball just like what New Mexico did last week. I just don't like going over. I'm going to just have the absolute slightest of leans. I'm not even going to make it a play with the Navy. But if Tulsa covers here, no surprise on my part, that's for sure. Colorado and UCLA are going to be on ESPN2 late if you're in the East or even in the Central Time Zone. So it's going to be a little bit late on that one. That total shot all the way up to 68.5, but it has come back down to 69.5. Now it's back to 67.5. So it's definitely come back. I had said at the time when we did did the other video that I thought the over was the play, that Josh Rosen, I think, will have some quite a bit of success against the Colorado defense. And I know the UCLA defense isn't going to stop anybody. They haven't all year, so why would they now? I like the over in that game. SEC action, going to be on the SEC network. South Carolina, Texas A&M. A&M went up 2 points. They've come back, all the way back, and in fact, back even more. Texas A&M was 10. Now you're seeing them at either -8, which was the original starting point, and even -7.5 on this one. The total has come down, which would favor the Gamecocks as well, because Texas A&M, how are they going to win? Texas A&M wins by scoring. But you know what? I'm going to be stubborn on this one. Okay, I think I just can't see South Carolina keeping up points-wise with Texas A&M, especially at home. I'm going to give Texas A&M, I'm going to give the points on this one. I might be wrong. And I like the over, too. I liked A&M right from the start. Like I said, I just can't see the Gamecocks keeping up on the scoring end of the situation here. So, hey, that's everything I got. As I said, I don't know how many picks it was. It's a lot, okay? And you can get even more. I got some other stuff for you. You go to the website, you can get the public plays, where the public is, both the sides and totals. I got the top 5 plays in each one based on percentages. And the one on sides, the public right now is 14-6. Doing awfully well, picking the right side. So, hey, Doug Upstone here for Vegas Pro Insiders Daily. We will be back tomorrow on Saturday. We're going to look at the NFL action. Cover it all for you too. So as of right now, I'm out.